You've visualized your dream life with the clarity of a Hollywood movie, and you've hunted for signs and synchronicities like a detective on a crucial case. But the big things, the life-altering, ground-shaking changes, they remain stubbornly out of reach, like a beautiful mirage shimmering in the desert. And in the quiet moments, a frustrating thought creeps in, a doubt that feels like a betrayal to your own faith. I'm doing all the work. Why isn't it working for me? If you've ever felt this way, you are not alone. But the very fabric of how you create your reality, today, we're going to explore the hidden reason why your reality hasn't caught up with your dreams. And everything to do with a subtle, powerful shift in consciousness that, once understood, changes the entire game. Let's be honest, the journey of conscious creation can feel like a lonely one. You're surrounded by a world that largely operates on the principles of hard work, struggle, and external effort. You wake up each morning and dutifully run through your mental checklist. Gratitude list? Check. Visualizing your dream home? Check. Affirming, I am wealthy. I am abundant? Check. You meticulously guard your thoughts, batting away negativity like a swarm of flies. It's a testament to your dedication, a physical anchor for your dreams. And then you go about your day. The bills are still there. The job still feels unfulfilling. The loneliness still creeps in at night. The world outside doesn't seem to have gotten the memo about your new, high-vibration reality. It's in this disconnect that the frustration begins to fester. It's a quiet, insidious kind of disappointment. You start to question yourself. Am I not being positive enough? Is there some hidden block I'm not aware of? Did I use the wrong affirmation? You see small glimmers of hope that keep you going. You'll be thinking of an old friend, and they'll suddenly text you. You'll be worrying about a small bill, and you'll find $20 in a coat pocket. These little synchronicities feel magical, and they are. They are proof that the connection between your inner world and the outer world is real. They are the universe's way of saying, I see you, I hear you. The line is open. It feels like you're a radio host broadcasting a powerful signal, but the world's receiver is tuned to a different frequency. You hear the static, you know the connection is there, but you can't quite get the clear transmission through. This is the paradox. You're redoing everything right according to the rules you've learned, yet the results are disproportionately small. You're putting in the spiritual and mental work of a titan, but seeing the returns of a novice. This isn't because the universe is playing games with you. It's not because you're unworthy or because you're being punished. It's because the most crucial part of the equation has been misunderstood and in many teachings overlooked entirely. The question you've been asking, if quantum physics proves that my consciousness affects matter, why isn't it working for me? Is the right question. And the answer is simpler and more profound than you can imagine. It lies not in doing more, but in understanding the very science you're referencing. This isn't about blind faith. It's about understanding the fundamental laws of the universe as we currently know them. The world of quantum physics, which governs the very building blocks of our reality, is not just strange and mysterious. It is a direct reflection of the power of consciousness. The most famous and mind-bending experiment that demonstrates this is the double-slit experiment. Imagine a barrier with two vertical slits in it. Now, imagine firing tiny particles, like electrons, at this barrier. If you were firing marbles, you'd expect to see two distinct lines of impact on a screen behind the barrier, corresponding to the two slits. Simple, right? But electrons aren't marbles. They exist in the quantum realm. The electrons don't create two lines on the screen. Instead, they create an interference pattern, a series of multiple lines, much like waves in water would create if they passed through two openings and interfered with each other. This means that each unobserved electron somehow behaves like a wave, passing through both slits at the same time and then interfering with itself before hitting the screen. Here's where it gets truly paradigm shifting. The moment scientists decide to place a detector at the slits to observe which one the electron goes through, the entire phenomenon changes. The act of observation, the simple act of looking, forces the electron to make a choice. It stops being a wave of potential and collapses into a definite particle in a single location. It goes through one slit or the other, and the interference pattern on the screen vanishes, replaced by the two simple lines you'd expect from firing marbles. Let that sink in. The reality of the electron, whether it behaves as a wave of infinite possibility or a single, definite particle, is determined by whether or not it is being consciously observed. This is the observer effect, and it's not a theory or a philosophical idea. It is a repeatedly verified, measurable scientific fact. Your awareness, your consciousness, is not a passive bystander in the universe. It is an active participant that literally influences how energy condenses into matter. Think of yourself as the scientist in this grand experiment of life. Every moment, you are observing the world around you. And the quantum field, the infinite ocean of energy and potential from which all things are born, is your laboratory. Everything you desire, more money, a loving relationship, a healthy body, exists as a wave of potential within this field. It's not something you have to create from scratch. It already exists as a possibility. Your consciousness is the instrument that observes one of these possibilities and collapses it from a wave of potential into a particle of your physical experience. So, when you say, "My consciousness affects matter," you are not just repeating a New Age mantra. You are stating a fundamental principle of our universe. The question, then, is not if your consciousness is creating, but what it is creating from, and how it is observing. If your observation has the power to turn waves into particles, to turn potential into reality, then understanding the nature of your observation is the single most important key to unlocking the life you desire. So we've established a profound truth. Your consciousness is the collapsing agent of reality. With such a powerful tool at your disposal, why does the reality you're experiencing often feel so stuck? The answer lies in one of the most subtle yet powerful traps we fall into: the energy of trying. We live in a society that glorifies effort. We are taught from a young age that to achieve anything worthwhile, we must strive, struggle, and work hard. We apply this same logic to manifestation. We try to be positive. We try to feel abundant. We try to believe that our desires are on their way. We put immense effort into our visualizations, our affirmations, and our mental discipline. But here is the quantum paradox. The very act of trying is a powerful declaration to the universe that you do not yet have what you want. Think about it. You don't try to breathe. You just breathe. You don't try to have brown eyes or blonde hair. You just have them. There is no effort involved in being who you already are. Trying, by its very nature, is born from a place of lack. It is an energetic statement that says, "This is not my current reality, and I am putting in effort to make it so." It carries the underlying vibration of separation, of distance between you and your desire. In quantum terms, this state of trying, hoping, and striving keeps your desired reality suspended in the wave state. It's like the unobserved electron. Because your dominant state of consciousness is one of not having it yet, the quantum field dutifully reflects this back to you. Your desire remains a potential, a possibility that is always on its way, but never fully arrives. Your constant effort to pull it into your reality is the very force that is holding it at bay, because that effort is saturated with the feeling of its absence. Imagine you've ordered a package from an online store. Once you've placed the order and you know it's been shipped, you don't spend every moment of your day trying to will the package to your door. You don't stand on your porch, straining with mental effort, hoping the delivery truck will appear. You simply know it's coming. You go about your day with an underlying sense of certainty. You might check the tracking number occasionally, but you're not in a state of desperate lack. You're in a state of expectation, of knowing. Now, compare this to how we often approach our deepest desires. We want a loving partner, so we spend hours affirming, "I am in a happy relationship," while feeling achingly lonely. We want financial abundance, so we repeat, "Money flows to me easily," while our stomach churns with anxiety about the rent. We are trying to plaster a positive thought over a deep-seated feeling of lack. The quantum field doesn't respond to the pretty words we're saying. It responds to the vibrational truth of our being, and the truth of trying is, "I don't have it." This striving energy keeps you desiring what quantum physicists call superposition, the state where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Your dream life and your current life are both potentials, and by constantly focusing on the gap between them through the act of trying, you are inadvertently keeping the wave function from collapsing into the new reality. You're holding the energy in a state of uncertainty. The universe, which is a mirror of your consciousness, has no choice but to reflect that uncertainty back to you, giving you more experiences that cause you to try, to hope, and to strive. The hidden block isn't an external force. It's the very effort you're exerting. If affirmations and visualizations aren't the primary drivers of creation, then what is? This is where we need to go deeper, to understand the layered nature of our own consciousness. We often think of our minds as the command center, but our thoughts are the directives we send out to the universe. But thoughts are just the surface level, the tip of a very large and powerful iceberg. Imagine your consciousness as a four-layered structure. At the very top, the most superficial layer, are your thoughts and words. These are the affirmations you repeat, the mental images you conjure. They are important, but they are like the ripples on the surface of an ocean. They have some effect, but they are not the source of the ocean's power. You can tell yourself, "I am calm," 1,000 times, but if a storm of anxiety is raging beneath the surface, the words will feel hollow and powerless. Beneath your thoughts lies a much more powerful layer, emotion. Every thought you have generates a corresponding feeling in your body. This is the language of your subconscious mind. Emotion is energy in motion. It's the vibrational current that gives your thoughts their real power. You can think about being wealthy, but it's the feeling of security, freedom, and joy that truly sends a powerful signal to the quantum field. This is why many manifestation techniques emphasize feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's a step in the right direction because it engages a deeper level of your consciousness. But even emotions are not the foundational layer. Beneath your emotions lies your belief system. Beliefs are the core programming of your reality. They are the deeply ingrained assumptions you hold about yourself, about others, and about how the world works. A belief is a thought that you have thought over and over again, infused it with emotion, and accepted as truth. If you have a core belief that you are unworthy of love, you can generate the emotion of love in a visualization for 10 minutes. But for the other 23 hours and 50 minutes of the day, the belief of unworthiness is running the show. It's the operating system that silently shapes your perceptions and experiences. Your reality will always, without exception, configure itself to prove your deepest beliefs to be true. And finally, we arrive at the absolute foundation, the source code of your reality. Beneath your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs lies the observer state. This is the state of being. It is the silent, core identity from which you are looking out at the world. It's not what you think, what you feel, or what you believe. It's who you are being in this exact moment. Are you being a person who is waiting for love, or are you being a person who is the embodiment of love itself? Are you being a person who is chasing wealth, or are you being a person who is the essence of abundance? Reality doesn't respond to your fleeting affirmations, or even your temporary emotional states. It responds to the unwavering truth of your observer state. This is the real mechanism of quantum creation. You can spend all day trying to convince the universe that you are wealthy. But if your fundamental observer state is that of someone who lacks money, the universe will only hear the latter. It is a perfect, non-judgmental mirror reflecting your state of being back to you. The great work, then, is not to control your every thought or to force yourself to feel a certain way. The real work is to shift your identity at the deepest level, to change the consciousness that is doing the observing. When you change who you are being, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs naturally and effortlessly align with that new state, and the quantum field has no choice but to follow suit. Let's return to the image of the scientist in the laboratory. Their role as the observer is paramount. The outcome of their experiment depends entirely on the nature of their observation. Now, let's imbue that scientist with the human qualities of emotion and belief. Imagine one scientist approaches the double-slit experiment with an energy of uncertainty. They are filled with hope, but also with doubt. They are trying to get a specific result. They set up the equipment and think, I really hope this works. I'll be so disappointed if I don't see the particle collapse. What if I'm doing it wrong? This energy of trying, of hoping, of questioning is a frequency. It's a vibration of ambiguity. In this state, the quantum field reflects that ambiguity. The particles remain in a state of flux, of undefined potential. The wave function docent to cleanly collapse because the observer as consciousness is not one of decisive certainty. Now, imagine a different scientist. This scientist walks into the lab with an unshakable sense of knowing. They are not hoping for a result. They are simply observing the result they know will be there. Their state of being is one of pure, relaxed certainty. They are not attached to the outcome because, in their consciousness, it has already happened. They are merely watching the physical world catch up. They set up the equipment, and their observer state is one of calm, detached knowing. In this state of certainty, their observation is a clear, powerful, and unambiguous signal. The wave of potential instantly collapses into a definite particle, a concrete reality, perfectly matching the certainty of the observer. This is not just a metaphor. It is the very principle upon which you are creating your life every single second. The states of trying, hoping, and waiting are frequencies of lack. They are the energetic equivalent of the uncertain scientist. Trying broadcasts the frequency of, I don't have it. Hoping broadcasts the frequency of, it might happen, but it might not. Waiting broadcasts the frequency of, it's not here yet. All of these states, though they may feel productive or positive on the surface, are rooted in the consciousness of the thing's absence. They are prayers sent from a place of perceived powerlessness. In stark contrast, the states of certainty, relaxation, and trust are frequencies of having. They are the energetic equivalent of this certain scientist. Certainty broadcasts the frequency of "it is done." Relaxation broadcasts the frequency of "I am not worried because I know it is done." Trust broadcasts the frequency of "I don't need to see the physical evidence to know it is done." This is the quantum switch. You cannot exist in a state of trying to get something and simultaneously exist in a state of already having it. The universe cannot receive both signals at once. It will always default to the dominant one, the one that is emanating from your deepest state of being. Your energetic state is the deciding vote. It is the command that tells the infinite potential of the quantum field which version of reality to collapse into physical form. You have been trying to shout affirmations loud enough to drown out the whisper of your doubt, when the real path is to simply quiet the doubt and adopt the calm, silent, powerful frequency of knowing. You don't need to force it. You need to become it. The moment your energy shifts from the vibration of seeking to the vibration of having, the universe has its clear instructions. Perhaps this all sounds a bit abstract. The idea of shifting your entire state of being can feel like a monumental task. But the truth is, you are already an expert at this. You effortlessly manifest things all the time. You just don't realize it because you do it in moments of non-resistance and natural alignment. The proof is scattered all throughout your daily life. Think about the small things. Have you ever had a random song pop into your head? A tune you haven't heard in years, only to get in your car, turn on the radio, and there it is, playing at that exact moment? What was your state of being when you thought of that song? Were you trying to manifest it? Were you striving and straining to hear it? Of course not. The thought just drifted into your mind in a moment of relaxation, perhaps while you were washing dishes or driving. There was no attachment, no desperation. It was a state of pure, effortless allowance. Your observer state was calm, and in that moment, it aligned with a specific potential in the quantum field. The field simply mirrored your relaxed certainty by materializing the matching outcome. Consider the times you've thought, "I should really reach out to so-and-so," and within minutes, your phone buzzes with a message from that very person. Again, in that moment, you weren't engaged in a rigorous manifestation technique. You were in a state of flow. The thought arose from a place of genuine, unattached connection. You weren't broadcasting the needy frequency of "I wish they would text me." You were in the relaxed state of "I am thinking of them." And that clean, clear signal was received and returned. What about those moments of unexpected help? You're struggling with a problem, you've hit a wall, and you finally just let it go. You surrender. You say to yourself, "I don't know how to solve this, and I'm going to stop trying to force it." And then, a little while later, the perfect solution appears. You overhear a conversation. You stumble upon an article online, or a friend calls with the exact piece of advice you needed. These are not mere coincidences. They are quantum events. They are manifestations that occur when you get out of your own way. In those moments of surrender and relaxation, you stop broadcasting the frequency of struggle and lack of a solution. You drop the energy of trying. Your observer state shifts into one of open allowance. You become a clear receiver for the solutions that already exist as potential in the quantum field. These small, everyday manifestations are your personal proof. They are the universe's way of teaching you the rules of the game. It's showing you that creation is not about force, but about flow. It's not about striving, but about surrendering into a state of knowing. The reason these things manifest so easily is because you have no resistance to them. You don't have decades of limiting beliefs built up around hearing a song on the radio. You don't have deep-seated fears of unworthiness tied to receiving a text message. The process is the same for the big desires. The only difference is the amount of resistance, fear, and doubt we attach to them. Your challenge is not to learn a new skill, but to apply the skill you already possess, the one you use for the small things to the dreams that matter most. It's about cultivating that same state of relaxed, knowing non-attachment that lets the song play and applying it to the symphony of your grandest life. When it comes to our biggest desires, the love of our life, financial abundance, our dream career, a new and disruptive element enters the equation: fear. With the small, effortless manifestations, the stakes are low. There's no fear attached to hearing a song or getting a text. But when our deepest vulnerabilities and securities are on the line, fear can hijack our observer state. And this fear expresses itself in one of the most potent forms of energetic sabotage: waiting. Waiting is not a passive state. It is an active, ongoing broadcast of a single, powerful message to the quantum field. It's not here yet. Every moment you spend waiting, you are consciously observing the absence of your desire. You are collapsing the reality of not having it. Think about the feeling of waiting. It's a state of tension, of anticipation mixed with anxiety. You're constantly scanning the horizon, checking your metaphorical inbox for a sign that your desire is coming. When you're waiting for a partner, every happy couple you see is a painful reminder of your own solitude. When you're waiting for money, every bill that arrives is a confirmation of your lack. This constant checking, this focus on the present moment reality that you wish to change, reinforces the very reality you're trying to escape. You place your desire on a timeline. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. My life will start when I find my soulmate. By doing this, you are pushing your desired reality into the future, a future that, by definition, never arrives. The quantum field does not operate on linear time. It does not understand past, present, or future. It is an infinite, simultaneous present moment. It responds only to your observer state right now. If your observer state right now is one of waiting, the quantum field can only give you more experiences that cause you to wait. It's a perfect, instantaneous feedback loop. You wait, so the universe gives you something to wait for. The more you focus on the fact that it hasn't happened yet, the more you cement the energetic reality of it hasn't happened yet. Doubt and the imposition of timelines are forms of deep uncertainty. They are a declaration that you do not trust the process. You are essentially telling the universe, I believe in this quantum principle, but only if you show me the evidence within my specified time frame and in the way I expect. This is not a state of certainty. It is a state of control, born from fear. You reholding the wave function of your desire in an uncollapsed state because your observation is contaminated with the uncertainty of when and how. Breaking free from the trap of waiting requires a radical shift in perspective. It requires you to find the feeling of your desire fulfilled now, before there is any external evidence for it. It means no longer looking outside of yourself for confirmation. It means turning your attention away from the 3D reality that reflects your past state of being, and holding your attention firmly on the internal reality of your new state of being. The moment you stop waiting is the moment you start receiving, because in that moment, you stop observing the absence of your desire, and you begin, for the first time, to truly and purely observe its presence within you. We have been conditioned to believe that manifestation is an act of acquisition. It's about getting something, attracting something, or calling something in from the outside world. This framework, however, is fundamentally flawed because it reinforces the illusion of separation. It positions you here and your desire over there with a gap that you must bridge through effort and technique. The true nature of creation is not acquisition, but embodiment. It's not about calling something to you. It's about becoming the version of yourself who already is, has, and experiences that reality. Let's return to the quantum field. Science tells us that in this field of infinite potential, all possibilities exist simultaneously. This is not just a poetic concept. It means that right now, in this very moment, there is a version of you who is living your wildest dreams. There is a version of you who is wildly in love, a version who is a celebrated artist, a version who is financially sovereign, a version who is in perfect health. These are not distant, future selves you have to build. They are existing, parallel probability streams in the quantum field. They are just as real as the version of you listening to these words right now. The only thing that separates you from that reality is your awareness. Your current observer state is aligned with your current reality. That is why it is the one you are experiencing. To experience a different reality, you don't need to build it brick by brick. You need to perform an act of quantum alchemy. You must shift your observer state to match the consciousness of the you who is already living that desired life. You have to tune your vibrational dial to their frequency. This is the shift from wanting to being. Wanting is the state of the old you. The you who wants a loving relationship feels a lack of love. The you who wants money feels a lack of money. This state of wanting, as we've discussed, perpetuates the lack. Being is the state of the new you. The you who is love, who is abundance, doesn't need to seek it outside of themselves. They are the source of it. So how do you make this shift? It's an inside job. You ask yourself, who is the version of me that has everything I desire? What is their state of being? How do they think? How do they feel? How do they carry themselves throughout the day? The you who is in a deeply loving relationship doesn't walk around desperately hoping for love. They walk around embodying love. They are secure, confident, and open. They are not defined by another person's validation because they are already whole. To shift, you must begin to be that person now. They operate from a state of ease, trust, and generosity. To shift, you must begin to cultivate that feeling of ease and trust now, even with your current finances. Faking it implies a disconnect between your internal state and your external actions. Being it is an authentic cellular transformation. It is about so thoroughly embodying the frequency of your desired reality that it becomes your dominant observer state. You stop trying to attract your desire, and you start living as the person who is the natural, magnetic counterpart to that desire. You are not changing the world. You are changing the observer, and the world changes as a consequence. The wave function doesn't respond to your intentions. Intentions are still rooted in a future-based outcome. You intend to do something later. Every moment of your day, you are making I am statements with your state of being. When you worry, your unspoken I am is I am someone who is in danger. When you feel lonely, your I am is I am someone who is separate. When you strive and struggle, your I am is I am someone who does not have what they want. The moment you stop trying and begin being, your frequency changes. Your I am statement transforms. You are no longer broadcasting, I am trying to be abundant. You are broadcasting, I am abundance. You are no longer sending the signal, I am hoping to find love. This is not a mental game. It is an energetic reality. You no longer hope for signs or desperately check for evidence that it's working. Why would you? A truly wealthy person doesn't constantly check their bank account to reassure themselves that they have money. A person in a secure, loving relationship doesn't need constant validation to know they are loved. The need to check for evidence is the ultimate proof that you are still in the observer state of not having. The one who knows is at peace. This knowing is not an intellectual concept. It's a deep cellular certainty. It's a quiet, unshakable trust that permeates your entire being. It's a relaxation in your nervous system. It's a feeling of it is done. This energetic certainty, this state of being, this new identity, is the ultimate command. When you command the field with the frequency of I am, it has no choice. It's not a reward for good behavior. It's physics. It's the law of observer participancy. The universe is not giving you what you want. It is giving you who you are being. Who are you being in this moment? Are you being the version of you that is waiting, hoping, and trying? Or are you being the version of you who already is everything you desire to be? The answer to that question is the reality you will inhabit in the next moment. There comes a point on this journey where the intellectual understanding must give way to a profound, declarative choice. It's a moment of spiritual crossroads, a line in the sand. It's the moment you look at your life, at all the striving, the hoping, the waiting, the frustration. It's the moment you say, with every cell in your body, I'm done. I'm done waiting for the outside world to change before I allow myself to feel whole. And in the space created by that powerful release, you make a new declaration. You declare your new observer state. I'm not trying anymore. I am becoming. This declaration is not a wish sent out to a distant God or universe. The version of you that doubts, that hopes, that waits, that identity begins to dissolve the moment you withdraw your attention and belief from it. It was only ever kept alive by your focus. In its place, you consciously choose to step into the identity of the person who is already living your dream. You decide to be them right now, in this moment, in your current circumstances. This is the ultimate act of faith. It's not faith that you will get something in the future. It is a law of physics. Reality has no choice but to match the consciousness that is observing it. The changes may be subtle at first. A new sense of peace, a feeling of inner alignment. The people who resonate with your old, lacking identity will drift away, and the people who resonate with your new, whole identity will be drawn to you. Your physical reality will begin to reorganize itself around your new state of consciousness. This is the secret. This is the quantum switch. It was never about adding more techniques or trying harder. It was always about subtracting the old identity and courageously stepping into the new one. So, we come full circle. You are trying to change the reflection in the mirror without changing the person standing in front of it. The lesson from this quantum story is this: your life is not a result of what you do, but a reflection of who you are being. Your power to create does not lie in your effort, but in your identity. The universe is not a vending machine where you insert affirmations and get back desires. It is a vast, intelligent, and responsive mirror that reflects your own consciousness back to you with perfect fidelity. The practical application of this knowledge is to turn your focus inward. Instead of spending your energy trying to manipulate the outer world, spend it cultivating the inner state of being that corresponds to the life you want. I leave you with this question to ponder. Who would you have to be today for your dream life to be the natural, inevitable outcome? What one small shift in your state of being can you make right now to start living as that person? Thank you for sharing this time and this space with me. I wish you not just health and happiness, but the profound and liberating realization of the incredible creative power that resides within you. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing to the channel and joining our community of conscious creators. Your journey is just beginning,